Do you want your Mario Kart game to go from this to something more like this? Well, if you do, you've come to the right video. Today, fellas, I'm going to show you how to install Mario Kart 8 Deluxe mods on your Nintendos. So guys, before we get this video started, please don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell to be notified of all future videos. And also, hit me up on twitch.tv/Needels, baby. We play some games. We have some fun times in there. We play all sorts of games, so please come in and chill. Anyways, on to the video. Here's what we're gonna do first. What we need to do is get our SD card into our computers. So I'm gonna fast forward and do that real quick. So now that we have our SD card in our computer, we're gonna just make it nice and simple. We're gonna go here, we're gonna go into this PC, and we're gonna open up this window. We're gonna go to USB drive E, because that's our SD card. And this tutorial is how to get your Mario Kart 8 Deluxe mods in. If you need to know how to homebrew your Switch, which is required, why don't you click on the video up at top. I actually just made a video about this, and hey, it'll help you get started, and then you can catch up with us right here to mod your Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Okay, anyways, what you're gonna need to do first is you're gonna have to go into Atmosphere, and then you're gonna have to head to this Contents folder. Now, my folder has 2 files in it because I've modded my Switch before, but both these folders will not exist. And it seems like a bunch of random numbers, but it's not. What these numbers are is like the ID for the game. So I'm gonna leave the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ID in the description. All you guys gotta do is copy it and then paste it when you name the folder. So you want to name a folder this file right here. So it's 01000152, etc. This whole line here, you want to name a folder after that first. That's just the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ID for Atmosphere here. So we're gonna click on that. And the first thing you want to do, so there's romps. Well, you don't have any folders yet, but what you want to do is name a folder named romps_metadata bin. That'll come in later after you run the mods for the first time. So don't worry about anything yet. So what you're gonna want to do is make a romps folder. Be sure it's all lowercase. It is case sensitive, so be sure you're good about that. And next, you're gonna have nothing in these folders. But I want you guys to pause the video right here, and I want you to make a folder for every single one of these. I want you to make a UI folder, race common, map objective. I want you to make all of these folders right here. And I want you to be sure that these are case sensitive. So be sure they're named like capital A and audio. Be sure it's a map with uppercase M and then uppercase O. This will just make it easier for later when you want to install mods and they show up like, oh, this is the cart folder. I'm gonna just throw all the files in there. It'll just make your life a lot easier. It'll make this whole process a lot less confusing. So once you make a folder of all these, perfect. You're in a good spot to start modding. Now we're gonna have to go onto Game Banana and find a mod. So the first mod we're gonna install today is Marin over Toadette. So what you're gonna want to do, replace Toadette, is you're gonna do Marin over Toadette. You're gonna go into Romps, Driver and Cart, and just throw this in there. We already made the Driver and Cart folder. We'll just replace the files. What this is essentially doing is just replacing the model of Toadette with the one they made for Marin. And then they're also going to do the cart models. Like, they're going to make it different colors and a different insignia on the cart, so it also fits the theme. All right, so you got that done. Now we're going to go back here and we're going to set up our SARC file, which that might sound confusing right now, but this is just helping us set up the UI. So go into that folder at the top, .sarc UI files for Marin only. Go to romps, UI, common. Okay, so actually what we can do is we can just drag in the UI folder, which I won't do here because I have a whole UI set up, but drag it in there and you should be good to go with that. The only thing about this is when you drag these files in, when it's common.sarc and menu.sarc, the thing is, it only does the UI replacement for the Marin mod. So that means if you do drag those files in and you have other mods, you can't fully get them to be working with each other. Like, you can't have multiple mods at the same time unless we use a program, which I'm going to show you how to do right after this. I'm in the mod video I'm showcasing today. I'm going to be showing you guys which Rosalina and how to install it. So I'm going to drag the on screen here. We have which Rosalina, and hey, look, there's driver and there's UI, and look what we already set up. So that's perfect. So don't just immediately drag them yet specifically for UI, but for driver, all we have to do is drag, honestly, even with the driver folder up, if you just drag that right here, it'll just move the 2 items. And now if we scroll down, there's Rosetta, which is the Japanese version of Rosalina, which is what we want. And the UI, when you go in here, it's gonna have this folder called common, and there's usen. Usen don't really, you're not gonna have to worry about too much yet, but you will have to worry about this one, common. So you see these 3 things, like menu.sarc, all these stuff. What you're gonna eventually do is you're gonna come into a mod that has one of these. So let me show you a mod. You would definitely need to install a mod that has one of these first, because if you go into UI and you click on this image, like that's all it is, it's an image, but you want to get this image into your game. Just throwing it in here is not going to load up the mods. You're probably wondering, well, how do I do that? Well, there is another link in the description that we're going to need to download. It's called Toolbox. And actually, why don't I just show you how to get, I'll do a quick Google search for you. So we're just going to Google Switch, you can't spell Switch, Toolbox. This is good for editing mods if you guys want to look into editing mods yourself. It's pretty neat, but all you really got to do is download right here. Do the Toolbox latest zip is what you're going to need. I already have it, so it's going to be a repeat for me. And put that zip somewhere very accessible for me. We're just going to exit. Toolbox right here. Toolbox is right here. Cool. Now what you're going to want to do, there's a lot of files here, but just go to toolbox.exe. So this is specifically for UI mods. So for all like these Mario Kart characters, you're going to need Toolbox. So what you need to do is you need to open. And okay, now we have to go to this PC. You got to go to USB drive E, go to our atmosphere, contents, go into our Mario Kart folder, which is 0100152. Here, our ROMs folder, and we need to go to the UI. Common. And then the first thing we're going to open up, these are the 2 menus you need to open up. So common.sarc. That's the first one you open up, and you see it'll come up, and I'll actually make this full screen. But it doesn't really matter if it's full screen or not, but you see this common.sarc here, that's the first folder opened up. We're going to open another folder up again. It's going to be menu.sarc. And yeah, you might think, wow, this is kind of weird. What do we do now? So here's the plan. We're going to go into common.sarc first. And you're thinking, oh shit, there's a lot of files here, which there are. You're like, which one do I go to? So you click on this search button here, and I'll have this code in the description what you want to search, so you can just copy and paste it if you want. But all we're searching for is mn underscore, actually for common. For common it is cm, which stands for common. You do l chara icon, this one right here. And then you press search, and it'll be there. It'll be highlighted. What you want to do now is double click, and you see how there's a little plus to the left side. You want to click on that. Now, from here, what you're gonna want to do is go into this BLYT folder, or not the BLYT, it's the PMG, and it'll be this combined ETNX file, whatever it's called. Double click that as well. Now you're gonna see, oh whoa, there's a whole lot of stuff. But if we grab our Rosalina mod, the which Rosalina specifically, it's TC underscore Chara Rosetta. So we see, okay, there's map Chara and all this stuff. We're going to want to do the one that corresponds. So this folder, it's map Chara. So we're going to want this one to be imported over whatever's in the game. So what you want to do first before you do that is you need to put the files in an easily accessible spot. What I do is I have a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe folder. And I make all the mods I have, and I just rename them to the characters I'm using it for. So like Rosalina, like an easy Rosalina folder. Let's go into our which Rosalina, and we're just gonna drag those right into this folder. This is just for organization purposes. You don't have to do this at all. Totally optional, but I prefer to do it. So now that we have those in the Rosalina folder, let's go back to our toolbox. Let's go to map Chara and let's find Rosetta. So let's go down. Rosetta, perfect. So we see it's just the map thing of Rosalina. What you're then going to do you're gonna right click it and click on replace. Then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to go to your wherever you kept your UI mods, which for me, I put it in my Mario Kart 8 Deluxe folder. And for my sake of organization, I put them all organized. So Rosalina for me. And you can be sure it's map chara. It's the corresponding file name. We're gonna do this one. Cool. Now it'll show up in like a little pixely format because it's zoomed in a lot. Click on OK. Perfect. You got in the first one. I think that's all we need from common. Oh no, we need another one. So you see how if you keep scrolling down, it's TC map chara. It eventually goes to TC ed chara, which means you're gonna also have to replace that. So let's find Rosetta again. We can find her. Here it is. Perfect. Now we click on replace again. We got to be sure it's the right file. So TC ed chara Rosetta. I'm gonna zoom in again. Click on OK. Perfect. Your mod is now in there as well. Lastly, what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna have to go to we're in common.sarc. Let's close out of common.sarc, and now I have to go to menu.sarc. What we just did is it affects the UI for the racing. Like it'll show up on the map, and then like the results screen. We just did the UI for those two. Now for menu.sarc, it says it just like the file name. We're going to be configuring the files in the menu. So when you click on the character select screen, it'll look different because it'd be a little weird if you had like a Sans mod and Wario's still there. If you want to replace Sans with Wario and you just still see the Wario picture, I feel like that takes away some of the experience, you know? So we're going to work on getting that right now. So what we're going to do is search again. This time, we're going to be searching for something different. We're going to search for MN, which stands for menu. L. Chara icon. We're going to search for that. Perfect. Now we're just going to double click. Click on the button on the left side. Go to TIMG. Got that combined folder. Double click that again. Click to the left. And here we go. We got our whole list. Now, oh, this is there's only TC charas here. There's no other files you need here. You only have to throw on one more file. This is a little complicated, but if you're installing a lot of mods at once and you have this open, it's really easy just to grind them in. So let's go do TC_chara Rosetta. Let's do replace. And let's put in this Rosetta right here. Which is TC_chara Rosetta. It matches up. And now we have Rosalina as a witch fully in the game. Now, what we're going to want to do from here is you're going to have to click save files. So your menu.sarc and your common files, they both get saved. So once you finish saving those files, what you're now going to want to do, you're going to want to close out of Toolbox, and we're going to head over. Oh no, it says, do you want to close? You may have unsaved progress. As soon as you save before, you should be okay. But we're going to close out of this. Now we're going to head to our Nintendo Switch. You can click no for this. You don't have to save anything. We're going to close out all of our stuff. Now let's head over to our Nintendo Switch to fully